What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration. We're back to work on the old rusty Dodge here again, and to save a little bit of cleanup, we got a box here and we're just going to sweep out some of the rust, I guess. Alright, so as we're cleaning up here, we did trim this section out and it's all in the box now as pretty much dust. As I was saying before, we're gonna try and save this bottom edge, so give us something to weld the new inner structure and outer rocker to. We've been unable to find this very inner or outer inner structure, the piece that has these smaller holes. The inner structure has the larger holes here, but there's no way of saving it. It's just, as you can see, it's totally gone. It's dust also, so we're gonna have to trim it off. The customer could not find this piece. I looked quickly, didn't see it available. It may be out there, I don't know. What we're probably gonna end up having to do is make that, though. Have some decent gauge sheet metal, because this is not gonna work. With that stuff all trimmed away, we have our new panel mocked up on there. So you can see we have coverage everywhere, even back here. So you definitely got to watch. It kind of looks like it would come up higher than that, especially back here. So when you rough trim off, you got to make sure you leave enough. Obviously, you can't cut up beyond where this panel covers on the truck unless you're going to add a piece. So we're good there. Of course, our cap corner will cover the rest of this area, and that all looks pretty good. Obviously, we don't have anything to attach on the back here yet. We do have this piece going in between there. It also will attach right here once we get all that trimmed off. All right, we're starting to get all that roughly trimmed up. We have some cuts here. We have cut back here with a slight overlap. We'll figure out whether we're going to put a step in there and lay it over top, or this stuff is so thin I think we can actually go over top, because like I said, it's not 100% on the back side there. But these spot welds, we're going to go ahead and just chisel it off. This piece here is coming off too, but let's get this piece off first and then we'll worry about that. And with that piece off, we'll throw that in our scrap box, and well, we'll keep going up with that, but we still do have to take this off. We just need to figure out exactly where we want to cut this. All right, we're pulling this piece off. We just went ahead and made 2 slices, and we'll get this door jamb piece off. And now we are actually to single layers. You can see it's pretty thin, so we really can't air chisel. It'll bend this piece all up. And honestly, that is the inner rocker, the very outer inner. It's this whole piece. It's one seam, so we don't want to destroy that, because that's what we're going to be welding back to. So the easiest way to do that is just pull it out. The spot weld will be kind of highlighted. We can take our cutoff wheel, and as we did there, just grind through, and then we'll clean that up with the sander later. We'll just peel that piece right off. And with that piece off there, you can see all the grind marks we have. We'll throw that in our box. Now we are down to what we're actually going to save. Got this side pretty much trimmed up and looking pretty decent. I think we're going to go to the other side now and hog a bunch of that stuff out and just get it cleaned up. Get some of the messy work excuse me, done out of the way first, because it is messy. You get covered in rust and debris. So in comparison, that side's trimmed up, looking pretty good. This side's still looking pretty horrible. This side honestly wasn't as bad as the other side, I don't think. But this side also had a rodent nest in it. So let's go ahead and dig all that out. Definitely want to wear gloves when you're doing this kind of stuff. As I'm pulling that out, that stuff's all damp. So that's another reason that some of these rust out. Again, it's going to get in there and clog all the drains. It's kind of a shame. You wouldn't really know it was even there. And this is what I'm talking about. You just move this stuff. I mean, that's a thick piece of metal there. And I can break it with one hand with ease. I've never seen metal do this. Yeah, I mean, obviously metal rusts and it can delaminate, but this is inside. I just have never seen anything quite that bad. And just like the other side, this side is way worse than initially looked. We're getting it trimmed away here, but as I'm cutting, I'm actually using a Sawzall, so I'm not even using the air chisel, and it's just big holes are blowing in this back here. So, all right, much better. We got all the crusty, nasty stuff off, the whole bottom lip off. Now we can throw our new piece up on there, like the other side, mark it, and start chiseling down, whittling this thing down to something usable. And like the other side, we got this mocked up, got it marked out. Pull back off and get cutting. All right, so trimming this up a little bit more on this side. I think I made a decision as far as the inner rocker here goes. Not the middle inner rocker, but the outer inner. Again, 3 pieces here. 1 is the outer piece you actually see. 2 is the inner piece you don't see but adds structure. And 3 is the very inner piece that kind of caps it all off. Still has holes in it, but definitely caps it off. So we trimmed this out. There is a body mount support right here, so we cut around that, and we trimmed it back there. We still have to do a little bit more trimming in the back here. I just wanted to get this cap corner out of the way so I could trim this middle piece. We can't use 100% all of that inner middle structure because A, there's a plastic piece up in here, and I don't want to melt all that out and make a giant mess. And B, this is as high up on the outer as we can go. So in order, that inner piece comes way up in here, and there's just no way of attaching it correctly without removing this. And to remove this, we'd have to remove a big chunk here, and we're not doing that. So we will trim that inner piece, the middle piece, and we'll weld it into what's still solid here. As you can see, we have all of the door jamb areas removed, cleaned up, looking good. We have, again, this cab corner roughly cut. I trimmed the new cab corner. We'll get it put up on here and get some lines scribed. You don't have to use the whole entire piece. Again, the reason it's easier to make a seam here on flat surfaces than these contoured surfaces. So that's what we're going to do, and we don't want to disturb that inner piece there, which is actually plastic, and there's foam and stuff in there. That's going to be a giant mess if we get into that. So let's get this up on there and mark everything out, finish trimming the body up, and we're probably going to, actually, I have a pair of pliers I'll show you that makes a step here, and we'll be able to overlap that and spot weld in through there, and that'll make a nice seam. We'll spray some weld through primer, and that's as good as you're getting. All right, we got some metal. We got some 14 gauge sheet metal here, which is much thicker than the factory used, as you can see. And this is what we're gonna make our inner rockers out of. So we have the outer kind of loosely thrown up on there just to get some measurements. As you can see, we do have a body mount there. There we go. Body mount there. We need to notch around, and yeah, we're gonna start laying this up there, trimming it down. We're gonna come back to here, and of course up to the front, all the way down to this pinch weld. Got that inner, the new inner rocker stitched up on there. Got it in position, just kind of stitch welded through here. As you can see from the back, looks pretty good. We'll get that cleaned up, and we'll actually seam seal from the back side to seal all that up, but it's definitely nice and strong. We'll add a lot of strength to the rusted metal that used to be there. It'll add a lot of strength back. We'll have to contour it a little bit as we get the middle inner rocker and the outer inner rocker all fitted up and clamped into place, and then we'll drill through all of it and plug weld down across this pinch weld, and then of course up through here, and we'll get all this tied back in. It's going to start coming together now and start looking like something again. Before we put that inner piece on, we are going to go ahead and spray that down and protect it with some etching primer, weld through primer, and yeah, protect it as good as we can. We did go ahead and spray that black. We're not looking for any kind of finish, just coverage. So that's nice and stout now. Now we can start working off, like I said, the rest of it. We did get the other side fitted too. If we run over here real quick, get the other side welded on. As you can see from the inside, we haven't had it got it coated yet. I was just test fitting this centerpiece and seeing how it fits. But so far we're looking really good. Let's keep moving. All right, we have our stepping pliers here. It's just pretty much a pair of vice grips with different jaws machined and welded in there, and you just put them up on here and you squeeze, and it puts a step in there. Obviously they're only so wide, so you have to kind of keep stepping your way across. Let me see if I can get a couple runs on there. As you can see, you can go right across, and what that does is that puts a step in this metal. And what we're gonna end up doing is our new panel here will lay right in that step, and we'll be able to weld it, and once we grind that off, it'll be pretty much flat. I don't really like seaming panels like this, but obviously it's the whole side of the truck if you were to replace it, so sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's go ahead and finish stepping that. We got our middle section here kind of mocked up, getting ready to start welding. Clamped up there, fits pretty nice. We did go, there's some drain spots like right here, if you can see that. We did notch that outer and push them in. We'll fix them, weld them up once we get this part pulled back against the other. But let's go ahead and start welding. We got this side all welded up. As you can see, we got it drilled, plug welded. We'll grind those down and get our end cap or outer rocker fitted on there, and get that weld on. We should be looking pretty good, I think. Once we get this kind of mocked up, then we'll just start welding our way through here. This area here, there's so many curves and stuff here. We're just going to tack through here. We'll grind it smooth and just put a little filler to smooth it out. We could drill, plug weld, grind it smooth, and then seam seal that, but we're going to try and make it look a little bit more like factory and blend that in. Through here, obviously, you won't be able to tell if this weather stripping goes down over this pinch weld. We'll drill and plug weld, spot weld, whatever you want to call it, through here, and that'll be just like a factory. As always, guys, we're plug welding here. We have it drilled, and we have vice grips in between each one of the welds, and we'll keep leapfrogging over as we weld to keep that nice and tight. All right, obviously we have some cleanup to do, but we have this all welded on through there. As you can see, we have that through there, but pretty much this side's on. We still have to tackle that cap corner. I think we pretty much have it trimmed up, ready to go, but we have to grind a little bit on the rocker before we can get that final fit, and then we'll go ahead and tack that on too. Now on this, we did do that step in the metal here, in the metal on the cap corner, so when we actually do our blending work, it'll be even, and the rest of this is not seen once the door's shut, but this obviously is. So we got to pay attention to our door gap. We went ahead and got this side all wrapped up also, all welded on there, top and bottom, as you can see. Now we just need to do the final fitment on our cap corners, and we'll get them welded on and then grind all this down. Actually, we got to do a little bit of grinding, so I might go ahead and grind the rockers while I'm grinding. All right, we got all the welds ground down, getting ready to, like I said, start fitting those cap corners up on there. We roughly already have them fitted, but that's kind of what it looks like after you grind the welds down. We'll smooth over that a little bit. Like I said, we will do some seam seal and a little bit of body filler just to blend that in. You can't help but do a seam here. It's just the way it is. So looks pretty good. We're able to get that smoothed out pretty nice. Like I said, all those spot welds, once we hit them, polish them up a little bit, it'll pretty much like factory spot welds down across through there. If you ever looked at one of these trucks, you see all the little dimples where they factory spot weld that in. But nice new metal now, doors shut nice, good to go. And there's one cab corner on. Of course, they're all tack welds through there, making the solid. You don't want to weld that just solid in one stretch. You'll warp the metal all up. So a bunch of spot welds, we'll grind that down. And if you can see here, let's wipe that off so it's not another color. We shut that. Door gap is pretty nice. Follows along pretty good, even through here. So we're good to go there. We'll jump over to the other side. That's all the metal work. We got both cab corners on, everything welded up, ground down. We have a little bit of body filler work, really not much. This trim goes on, covers all that. It was factory spot weld there anyway, so we need the body work here, a tiny bit here. We actually get that really nice and smooth, and then of course this seam through here, and then we'll blend in some white. And what a difference though. Brand new rust-free metal, 3 pieces, outer, middle, and then the inner. You can see in there. We'll shoot some paint on that too, just kind of blacken it out under the cab there. But yeah, what a difference. We're gonna end it here, guys. We have actually we need to get this finished up and out because we have a lot of stuff coming into the garage really soon. One of them is actually already here. It's interesting. 2 of them are actually already here. They're vehicles and they're new. And one of my vehicles has been on the channel for a long time, actually left. So whatever, throw some guesses in what you think that is, but thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.